everybody. I'm doing a session for clients. So I'm going to be sharing psychic wisdom and energy healing. If any of you are interested in exploring a session with me, please come visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. All right, so thank you so much for the opportunity to connect with you today, and thank you for sharing here on YouTube. All right, so short and sweet goals. I want a full chakra clearing. Thank you. Okay, full chakra clearing. All right, I'm ready to get started now. Full chakra clearing. So just looking at you and looking at your chakras, you're kind of inverted. Is that even what I should say to describe this? Okay, so, all right. Let's just say your face and then your hips are at the forefront, and then your heart and everything else is sort of pulled inward, all right? So you're kind of in this sort of distorted way. And I need to bring your heart from behind you. I need to bring it forward. And I mean, as this part of your energy gets pulled back, I mean, it's pulling back on your throat. It's pulling back on your solar plexus as well. I'm not convinced that your third eye, crown chakra, your sacral chakra, and root chakra are balanced either. But this is the presentation. So your energy flow says, this is the balance I need to work with in order to live a happy life. It needs to be like this. So we need to understand why this is your balance, and then work our way towards a nice consistent flow, okay? Where everything is working together as a family, as a team, and everybody's sort of on the same page or in the same dimension. All right, still trying to understand this. I ask you, where do you want me to start? There's definitely some vulnerabilities you're nervous about, so I'm just going to pick a place. And they're emotional. These vulnerabilities are emotional. It makes sense that the heart and the solar plexus are getting involved here and getting pulled back. It's almost like you would prefer to... All right, so as human beings, we could be emotional and mental and physical. We can have all these dynamics going at the same time. But sometimes when we get vulnerable, we would prefer to put our emotions on the back burner, just have a very strong face forward, be in the zone, more robotic, because that way we can get through life without getting lost in our emotions as we move through it. So there seems to be some resistance to feeling too much. So pulling the feelings back, maybe your emotions are too loud, which is why you're pulling them back. Instead of just letting them be at the forefront with everything else, they might overpower then everything else, which tells me we just need to neutralize whatever this emotional stuff is. And just me talking about it, just giving you a look at what your energy field looks like. It's almost like you want to hold me here instead of having me going into each individual chakra and just take a look at what it looks like in there. You're really uncomfortable about it. You're really nervous about it. I say, okay, well, let's work on the ones that you're most comfortable with. Let's just look at these ones that are at the forefront. Let's just start at the top, work our way down. Let's look at your crown chakra. It's pretty peaceful in here. The consistency is more like sugar-based. And it shows me images like swans, and there's a lot of white in the colors that it's showing me. But it's peaceful, tranquil, like the full moon on the water, a swan peacefully in the lake, you know. So peaceful images that have white in them. And I experience the taste of sugar in here. And I feel like you're trying to show me maybe what your ideal sensation is, peaceful, but not necessarily accessing that. So something misleading about this. looks good. Is that really how it is? You have a really unresolved side, and I see this part of you is pretty mad, okay? And she's coming forward and she's trying to look like a human being, but she looks pretty rough. She looks like she sleeps in a trash can. Her hair is greasy and stringy. She's dirty. She's really tough and angry, like she wants to fight, okay? Her skin is really oily and greasy, like she is greasy. She's trash. She was thrown in a dumpster. She was made to live in a dumpster. She was made to live in a dumpster. And I see her taking like a banana peel off her head and taking just sticky things, just kind of trying to brush it off her skin. And she's rough looking. And I say, it's kind of like, are you okay with the way that you look right now? Do you want to shower? Is there something you want me to know specifically just through the way that you look? Is the reason why you look this way? What are you so angry about? And this is in your crown chakra. This is an emotional thing in your crown chakra. You know what? Just being allowed to see her for as she is, being acknowledged, being noticed, someone caring enough to ask some questions is already starting to dissolve her energy. And she says a statement kind of like, life isn't all unicorns and rainbows. And she says like, these images are BS. I mean, she really emphasizes the cuss words here. These images are BS. And she rips the head off of the white swan and she just rips the scene with the white moon. And she says, life isn't like this. Life in reality is not this. Life in reality is me, is this, where you get thrown in a dumpster and now you have to live with the trash. And sometimes you are it. Sometimes you are treated like it. Sometimes you live in it and try to make a good living with what you have to work with. You say, this isn't reality. This isn't reality. I want to live in the real world. I don't want to live in a fantasy. And I say, okay, this is interesting because your real world is degraded. And the fantasy is what we could say is perfect images, right? And so can't life include goodness? Can't it also include goodness? So maybe it's hard sometimes. It's good sometimes though too, right? I mean, there are good days. You are crying profusely and the tears are made out of blood and you wipe your actual face, but you simultaneously wipe a mirror that's covered in blood. You say something about it has to do with seeing into who you are, seeing your face, seeing this reality. I'm making some joke about a fortune cookie. I was like, boy, if you're writing these fortune cookies, I wouldn't want one of your cookies. I don't want to open it up and here's my special numbers and oh, by the way, your life is BS. That's not the fortune cookie I want. I don't know why I just like make this funny joke because it's very, it's really in the thick of the struggle, okay? Maybe I'm doing this to lighten the mood. She does have a white rag, and she's wiping blood off of a mirror in a room that's covered in blood, and she herself is dripping with blood. And she's still very angry. And I say, is it your idea of reality that you want all the other chakras to be aligned with? Do you feel like me as a healer is going to support aligning all your chakras with what you are representing here? I don't think so. I mean, she's really starting to take control of the whole picture. Like, she's got it figured out, and this is the only way to reality, is to see how disturbing life can be. And I say, I'm all for looking at what makes us most uncomfortable, but for us to build upon that as the only thing that's real is not true. So I literally take her and I put her in a sphere, and I fill that sphere with lots of positive energy support, so she's not alone. That makes her angry because she should never have been alone. So now you're going to put me in a space where there's people to help me. I needed that a long time ago. I needed that a long time ago. How dare you try to just think that you can fix everything by just giving me people now? I needed that a long time ago. You say, oh, okay. Well, I'm going to let you hang out with these people over there. And that's that. It's kind of like she needs to learn how to understand that in these hard times we become stronger. And that's what makes us more beautiful, not what makes us uglier. And the things that we wanted in life that weren't there for us are hard. That's what makes life hard. Because in our hearts, we know, in a way, what creates a balanced environment is nurture, support, communication that's not vulnerable, that understands you without you having to say anything to explain yourself. Like, this is the perfect world, you know, the idea. We seem to know what that's supposed to be like in our heart, and we struggle as a collective human race to achieve it. So we're left in the cold, all right? We're left in the dark. We're left alone. We're left without the support we need. So how do we do? What do we do with that? We just live with it and then be pissed off for the rest of our life, or we choose to grow and develop a new relationship with our emotions, our thoughts, our feelings, our memories, a new relationship with ourself, our identity. I feel like she is a part of all of your chakras somehow. She's a part of your inner child as well. And that sphere I put her in, the echo that comes back is it's turned into basically a rotten fruit. So it's like a watermelon you open up and it's all rotten on the inside, and that's her. She's all rotten. She makes things rot. All right, I'm going to go into your third eye. Let's see what the next thing is. Your third eye has all kinds of, squid-like things. And there's long legs that are, it's sort of like the body's on the inside and the legs are kind of coming out the third eye. And so now that I'm here and I'm putting light into it, it's just pushing its body out of the third eye and at me. And I see there's major blubbery squid-like things here, and there's a big fat one like right in your mind. Okay, it's like a big like Big Bertha. It's a big mother squid, and she's got this massive gooey belly, and I can see little squids through the skin tissue. I mean, I can see all of her babies inside, and there's like hundreds of them, and she can't move. Now I see a man suddenly appear, and he has, he's like a Men in Black, and he's got like a earpiece and big shades, and he's talking on literally a walkie-talkie actually. And he has a black gun, and then he just shoots the squid in the head. So I just time out this scene. And I take the bullet out of the squid's head and I put it back in his gun. And I say, your services are not needed here. And I put him in a box and send him away. And I go to this mother emanation. She's starting to look more human, and she lost her babies. Her babies are all dead. And I see her babies look like little tadpoles, and there's like hundreds of them, and she's got them all collected in her hands, and they're kind of falling all over the place, and her babies are all dead. Literally, I scoop her up, and she's a big thing. It's like I need a forklift to do this, but I'm like super strong in the energy world, so I'm just hoisting her up. And I'm taking her out of your third eye, and then I'm just sending her away to a place of love. But all this is, there's major imbalance here in your third eye. I mean, what else are we going to be looking at? I mean, one chakra after another, there's definitely something going on here. I'm just gonna check your throat now, and we'll just keep going down, and then we'll continue to just sort of double check everything as we move. All right, throat. Your throat, it sounds like you've been breathing in helium. And so when you speak, you sound kind of chipmunky, but you actually sound like if you had the balloon and you just pinch the part where you blow into it, and then you just open it slightly, it makes this like really annoying sound when the air starts to release from the balloon. You sound like this through your voice. It sounds like that. And it sounds like strange breathing, like inhaling and exhaling with that sound. I feel like you're going through a major shift in your identity. And this is part of a breakdown of, I mean, this is part of the breakdown process. The reason why I say that is just looking at your throat chakra, and this is what I'm shown here. Yeah. How do I want to explain what I mean? I feel like you have many things to say. I feel like you're not necessarily holding back on saying things, but I feel like you're in a time where speaking just isn't really going to get you anywhere. And so your voice has sort of turned into this. And because you're kind of in a state of being in between, it's almost like you are going through a transformation, so that once you get to that next phase of your own identity, now it'll feel natural to just start expressing yourself again. So let me go to your heart. This is getting extremely vulnerable. The lower chakras are a lot more vulnerable than the upper chakras. You really don't want me to go into your heart. You're really sensitive. You're really nervous about it. I say, what are you nervous about? What I'm going to see, or how you're going to judge what I see? So you're the one that's creating the nervousness because of what reason? You're exhausted from seeing yourself as full of problems, or seeing yourself as the biggest problem in your life, or something like this. It has to do with, I just want to see myself as angelic. I just want to see something good, right? Like swans on the lake and the white moon. You know, I just want to see things that are good. So now I'm starting to understand why this other you is saying that, well, this is reality for you. This is reality for you. But this you really wants to see something that is good. And something that is good feels like, it's like the sugar illusion. It's like the ice cream that makes me feel better until I regret having that bowl of ice cream, you know? So it's like a good thing that really is questioned later. So where is the goodness? Is it really that good as I want it to be that good? Or is it really that bad and life is just a bad experience? So now I'm starting to understand here. Yeah, it's strange. Your heart and your sacral chakra have a connection, and it's like a weird. It's like a, let's just say, band instruments that have to do primarily with like a trumpet and a trombone and a tuba and the brass instruments, but they're made out of flesh, okay? And the people that are playing these instruments, they kind of remind me of what is that called? It's a Halloween show, and there's a main character named Jack, and he lives in this sort of Halloween world, and they try to bring Halloween to Christmas, something like this. What is that movie called? Well, the people playing these brass instruments are monstery looking. They look like they come from a Halloween world. And they're kind of stitched flesh and patchwork. Like they have half blue, half black. They're just kind of patched together with stitching, and the instruments are also like this. And this is what's playing in your heart. And I get echoes from that girl from the beginning, just sort of snickering at this, like, I told you so. I told you that reality is messed up, okay? I told you it was messed up. Told you it's BS. I told you reality is really like this. It hurts. It's painful, right? It's like all right, I'm gonna just let the next thing come, and it's gonna be a bulldozer. It's also gonna be a wood chipper, and we're going to just make it as gross and disgusting as it needs to be. So all this fleshy stuff is gonna get put into the bulldozer, and everything's going to basically be like bodies put into a blender, okay? Because you want to feel pain. You want to be in pain. You actually decided that you are going to choose to be in pain. So I'm going to let you feel it on the extent that you want it to be real for yourself. And we're going to make it as emotionally traumatizing and as psychologically messed up as we can get it, because that's life. Now I'm going to put her, the orchestrator of all of this, into the blender, because she wants that too, because that's life, right? She's screaming, and she's feeling how painful this is. But she doesn't say, make it stop. And I take all of this mess, and then I set it aside, and I say, okay, what next? What next? Are you ready to stop this? Or are you ready to start building a different type of energetic vibe? I'm going to go into your solar plexus now, okay? By the way, we are really rinsing out the rag of gross terror, just distorted thoughts about reality, the pain of reality, on and on and on the echoes are. And we're just taking all that slush pile and we're just moving through it, okay? Until it decides that it's okay now. This is called venting. So we're going to just vent all this out of your system. All right, solar plexus. Solar plexus is weird. It's like it's pulled down like an udder from a cow. It's like literally yanked on and pulled down and then pulled behind the heart. Literally your emotional gut is pulled down and then yanked behind the heart, and it literally is like the texture of like a cow udder, like we're milking a cow, and it's like pulling this and putting it behind there. That's where it's located, okay? That's what it's like. This is oh man, is this ever gory. Lots of bodies hung from a ceiling. A blood-splattered world, rotten, fleshy world. Everybody's in hell. Nobody can get out of hell. We're all here to rot. I mean, these are the things that your subconscious selves are echoing throughout your energy field. So you're going through a major death phase. I mean, you're going through a transformation of your identity. This is like, believe it or not, we go through these phases. And this feels like reality. It does. Because part of reality does hurt, right? It does hurt like this. But this isn't all that reality is. So I'm just going to keep venting this stuff out of you, no matter how gross or gory it is, okay? Until you decide that you're fine now, okay? This room is full of mounds and mounds of dead babies. And all the dead babies are now getting put into a blender by some sort of undertaker of your own creation. And this is the jacked up world today. This is the world today. This is what we want. We want the babies to be put in blenders. We want the world to suffer. We want each other to suffer. We want to hurt each other. We want the world to be tortured. I'm tortured. How can I live in a world that is this jacked up? I can't live in a world that is this jacked up. I feel like this is happening to me. I can't cope with this. I hate this. Okay. So this is reality. All right, cool. So you're going to be one of the babies. You can be all the babies if you want to be. You can be the undertaker. You can be the blender. You can be all this stuff, because that is the world 100%. And then you can be all these people hung from the ceiling. You can be all this rotted flesh world, okay? You can be hell itself. You can be all that stuff. And then a part of you comes out screaming with a knife and wanting me to shut up. Shut up. And it's just wanting to stab me in every place. And I just timed this out. And I say, are you done yet? Are you done with the pain yet? I mean, it's important to feel this pain here. But no wonder you pulled it behind yourself, because it was getting too loud, but it was disorienting here, all the balance of everything else. And what if this is just, all of this is just simply to heal your inner child of some memory of the past? I mean, all of this suffering just to heal the suffering of a part of yourself. When you needed to be loved and love was not there for you, when you were rejected. Instead of being able to pinpoint where this is coming from as something as simple in a way as yourself at a young age, when you felt like you needed somebody and they weren't there for you. You felt rejected. You felt thrown away. You felt like you were not worth it and just thrown into the trash. Something of your inner child had a moment which decided that that was itself. That's what was its identity. And now you're echoing, this is the world, and this is swallowing you whole, and you are in this hell, and we're all in this hell, and there's really no hope. No hope of any of this pain ever stopping, ever going away. And it's actually rooted in your inner child. So you can't decide that for the world. This is your situation. We're almost there, by the way. You're doing a really good job. Okay, let's go to sacral chakra. You don't even want to go there. I mean, I might as well not go there. It's full of, I mean, it's like bramble of hair and, okay, there's a weird, gross humanoid animal in here, and it's slimy and black, salamandery like skin, and it's crawling its way through here. It's like a monster lurking in the dark of your sacral chakra, and it's basically a deformed part of yourself that inhabits this place now. And anybody that comes in, it's like food for the demon, okay? But all it does, it doesn't eat anything. It just watches. That's all it does, is just watches. That's all it does. It sort of lurks around and hides in different pockets, and it just watches. And it's actually created an environment here so that it has some idea of life. Even if life is this degraded, it has some idea of life. And so this is its environment now. This is its environment now. The thing is, you made a decision that was quite loud, and now you're living in that decision energetically. But it's pretty normal to go through these phases as a human being where we get lost in this dark stuff, okay? Because we feel so hurt by the world and by our situations. And this is actually bringing up lots of memories, unresolved memories from the past, all muddled in there. And it's hard to actually put your finger on why you feel this bad, okay? And so we're still just venting our way through this, okay? We're just venting our way through this. All right, let's go into your root chakra. You say, I hate myself. I hate myself. You look at everything we've seen in all the chakras and you say, I must be a terrible person. I must be an awful person. What kind of horrible person am I? I'm such a terrible person. And I say, you want a different kind of fortune cookie? I bet I can come up with something better than this. I think we need to try a different fortune, different message. Like this is a lot. You don't find that funny. You slap the fortune cookie out of my hand. You look like the lurking monster in the sacral chakra. You stand upright. And you say, I want to go to a different planet. I want to go to a different world. I'm done with this place. And I say, but you're just getting started. I mean, you're just getting to the part where you decided that it's hell, but you actually you need to move through it. You need to move through it and get to the other side of it so you can actually see who you are after you've grown from this suffering state. Like, don't give up yet, you know? You want me to show you a world that is a good world, and you want to be there you want to just be in a good world for 5 minutes a day, something like this. Your root wants to be rooted in a good world for a day, even just a day, even 5 minutes. I want to be rooted in a good world. So I take your root chakra and I pull it into the depths of Mother Earth. She's a good, amazing being. You scream at me. You start stabbing me again. How dare you? How dare you root me into this world? How dare you do that? How dare you defy me? Again, with the mirror. You literally went through a mirror and you went to a hell space. And all your chakras are part of that hell. And I gotta move you beyond this, because this is actually a very good world. You're lost in the illusion. And part of this is embracing the emotions, embracing what hurts, crying, screaming sometimes, but not this is taking this to extremes. And you can. It's got free will. I'm going to put a really good fortune cookie in your root chakra. And this is going to give you something good to believe in again, okay? And I tell you, this fortune says you were good enough. You were good enough. And that's sort of like acknowledging the inner child and that memory. Because your inner child needed to know you were good enough. I'm pulling your solar plexus back, which it just flops back. And I'm helping to kind of help it just be more like its own state of being. And what I'm doing is putting light into each one of your chakras, your crown, your third eye, your throat, your heart, your emotional gut, solar plexus, your sacral chakra, your root. I'm going to put light into your earth star chakra, okay? I'm going to put light into your soul star chakra. I'm going to expand your energy field. I'm going to give you room to breathe, inhale and exhale, where it's not like helium in a weird sounding balloon, where it's natural breathing. I'm going to hug this inner child that has been hurt, is starting to become quieter, starting to let the support nurture that part of yourself. I say it's okay to let love in, you know. When it gets really hard like this, when it gets really loud, you try to take responsibility for everything, but sometimes you need to let the love in. If you're not able to love yourself, if you're not able to have loving thoughts, just let love in then. You're going to have to like just literally relax every part of your being and just let love in and start saying loving things. One of the things you need to hear is that everything is going to be okay. It's a weird and powerful statement. And it works. Everything's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. And we're so honored to have you as a part of this earth with us. You make it a good world. I know when life gets really hard, all of this gruesome stuff is just the pain that we go through. But that's just you purging the hurt, okay? Your true self is super bright and balanced and holy, feeling pure. Serenity. It's not a swan and a moon. It's literally all. It's the breath of all. The light of all. That is all the colors of the rainbow that we know and don't know. It's everything. And this is actually clearing a major congestion on your backside. It was really stuck to you, okay? You want to know if there's squid still in your third eye? I say, well, why don't you go look? And you say, I don't want squids in my third eye. I say, well, go look. Go deal with it. It's kind of like telling your kids, you have 2 hands, go pick up your dirty clothes. Go, you know, clean the toilet. You got 2 hands. You got a body that moves. Go do these things. You can do this. You say, in my third eye, I don't see any squids. I see my spirit guides and my higher self. I see beings that love me. I say, bam. You nailed it right there. All you have to do is look. And then when you choose to see the love that is there, that is what you will see. Major purge in every direction. You're like major purging out, gushing, gooey, gross, old, junky, nasty stuff. And from the front and the back, just gushing it out. You feel a lot more peaceful. You feel safe here on planet Earth. You feel tired. You feel like you need some rest, some peaceful rest, genuine rest. You're calm. You're relaxed. All right. Thank you very much for this experience. Thank you for sharing with all of us. I'm proud of you for getting through that. That was pretty hardcore. That's a pretty good example of how painful that, I mean, if we were to take the experience of the painful emotions that we even avoid feeling because they're just too loud, they're too painful, and then we were to describe what they actually look like through like images that come to us, it literally looks like a hell space. And it's okay to have that, to go through those phases. And sometimes we just need to, for some reason, just go through that. And then as we transmute it, we start to feel like ourselves again. And we never want to go through that, but we'll probably go through that door again, you know. But you feel a lot more stable, a lot more full of light and self-love and nurture and letting love in. And you're shifting, so that's a good thing. Yeah, your chakras are already starting to sing, and they're getting a lot more colorful and a lot brighter, and feeling safe to have sound and safe to be as they are, as you are, you know. It's getting pretty happy pretty fast in here. Okay, so have a wonderful day. Thank you again, everybody. Thank you for watching. All right, take care.